Hey folks, this is Randy in Victor, New York. Listen, I have a question for you. Do you think that the town of Victor, New York needs to have three separate websites? Or possibly I'll show you what Pittsford, New York is doing with just one. The reason I'm asking is that for years I've been looking for, basically searching for things everybody has in Victor, New York, restaurants and different types of businesses. And if you're like me, you get like results that sometimes the businesses are closed, information's not accurate. There isn't like a one place that's good to find this stuff. And also what gets top ranking, I'll just show you for a second, for business directories in Victor, New York, is the town of Victor, New York website. Now, first, you would think that was a good thing. The town of Victor, New York website is professionally managed. The person in charge of IT for the town of Victor is doing an incredible job with the town website. However, as far as business directory listings, I talked with her and they were very difficult to have the accurate, complete listings for all the businesses. So the town decided not to use Civic Engage for that. But even so, it is top ranked for business directory listings. So I see that as a negative because possibly people that don't know much about Victor might think there's not much going on. There aren't very many businesses. So anyway, when I found it, I first was thinking that's a good thing. But then, when I saw and I found out the decision the town had made, there's only, right now, there's 60 different businesses and mostly not-for-profit organizations listed. They did, as a courtesy, go ahead and list destinationvictorny.com because it is a tourism website and it is to build up Victor, New York. And the whole idea of it sort of fit with what the town wants to do. I'm not really sure why they listed me, but they did, and I'm very happy because, Destination Victor, New York the branding just sells itself. We want to make or help people think of Victor, New York as more of a destination rather than just a gateway pass-through community. And that resonates with business owners. We're off to a good start with destinationvictorny.com. But the reason I started it really I wasn't trying to complain. I wasn't trying to point out all the negatives, but because of it, I saw opportunity area. So the other thing is I didn't stop there. I also found out what the Victor Community Development Office had done and what they were doing. And it didn't look like they were interested in listings because they haven't updated their listings. They don't have definitely don't have a comprehensive list, but Ravenhood Golf Course, good. Olive Garden. The distillery's been out of business for more than a year, I think 2 years. 650 Restaurant, that's been closed for more than a year. Finger Lakes Gaming and Racetrack, 7385 Pittsford Victor Road, Fisher's Landing. I don't know. I know. I'm pretty sure that it's in Farmington. Maybe there's some sort of satellite type thing, but they're on here. So it's not accurate. It's not comprehensive. So, and the Victor Local Development Corporation has been around for almost 20 years now. So I don't know. For whatever reason, somebody was not professionally managing this. You've got a few good things. Now what maybe it's an awesome restaurant, but Prosecca Italian Restaurant, 10 Kings Highway South Suite 2300 Rochester, New York 14617. Keep in mind, this is the Victor Community Development Office, joint effort of the Victor Development Office and the Victor Local Development Corporation. Yeah. And then Bistro 11. Bistro 11 hasn't been operating for almost 2 years now, at least a year. But it actually grew into something I think even better. It's Fire on Main Street, Brick Oven Kitchen. But bone. I mean, it's just basically, I don't know about all these places, but all I can say is this is definitely not comprehensive. And as you can see, it's not accurate. That's not good for top ranked websites for businesses in Victor not to be professionally managed. It adds to confusion. So I saw an opportunity to where, although I knew about this Discover Victor NY page, I never thought that they'd actually start a website. In fact, the owner, I think, of the page, it was basically a failed attempt at branding. Discover Victor. It's not bad, but Discover Victor New York was started up by some private individual. So, and I believe at the beginning of 2024, I was looking and it was not quite 400 likes. And I contacted the person, I believe, who started the page. I'm pretty sure I know that. And then she told me that she didn't have time for it and that the development office was working on it. So the development office built up this business page, Discover Victor NY, and you could see that's the development office phone number. And then they've used a private email, discovervictorny@gmail.com. Not a town of Victor email. And all of 2024 up until about October, it used to say a one-stop shop to find all events in Victor, New York, which was never true. The digital record doesn't lie. Maybe that was what it was intended to be initially, but you look down the post and it definitely did not capture most of the events. Didn't even get maybe 20% of the events happening in Victor, New York. They didn't include a lot of the Parks and Rec events, Victor Hiking Trail events, church events. I mean, there was, to have something represented as something that is affiliated, actually, because it is something the development office was helping out with, to have it say that it's where all you could find all the events was just straight up false, and it was advertising. And I let the director of development know that that's what it seemed to me to be, and she didn't seem to think that was all that important. But anyway, Discover Victor New York, you might have heard of it. But so now they're starting up a third website for the town of Victor. Now, keep in mind that, a third website they're going to offer business directory listings. Now, I started up a business. Me and my wife started a business because I did all my research, and the town wasn't interested in having another website, and the town wasn't interested in doing listings, and the development office, and the page, the Discover Victor NY page, according to the legal representation for the town, was not something. It wasn't a town project. It wasn't owned by the town, and the email address that they use wasn't owned by the town. So I figured, well, it had to be a private sector individual. But then again, there was a problem. I thought, I could have reserved the domain name back in September when it was still available, but discovervictorny.com, Discover Victor New York just didn't really, I think it was a failed branding attempt, and I wasn't going to do anything with it, so I didn't reserve it. But they reserved the domain name, somebody did, in the middle of October, and now they started up this website, and now they're going to go in competition with destinationvictorny.com. It's not going to stop us from doing what we're doing. What we're doing makes sense, and the branding just sells itself, but it definitely is slowing us down. We were expecting to have at least 100 listings so far. I think we got about 30 or 40, and they're really good quality listings too. If you want to go to destinationvictorny.com, you'll see. But so they're going to have a third website. So maybe it'll be better than the last efforts. But one of the things about government is they can do stuff and try projects, and if they don't work out, then they just leave them off to the wayside, and the people involved still keep collecting paychecks. So I don't know who was supposed to be updating this, but since it is the Economic Development Office and the Victor LDC involved, Doesn't look good. And it's not good for Victor. So if it was a private sector business that did that, they probably would get some criticism. So I guess if they're government, they should be open to it as well. So is this going to be better? I don't know. All I can tell you is that the town has spent, probably since 2022, well over $10,000, probably over $20,000 to build Discover Victor NY up. This page, this branding. And so if a private sector business was to take it over, I would think that they would owe the town some money for building it up, right? So it's not a private sector business. It's actually a project of the Local Development Corporation, which is a limited liability corporation. They don't have to subscribe to all the rules and laws the way that governments do, like having to get 3 quotes if you're going to, pay somebody for services. I don't know for sure if they can get away with not getting quotes on event services and video services and advertising and website development services. I don't know if they're really part of the government or not. As far as I can see, because they've blended into the Victor Community Development Office, they effectively are part of the government. I've called them in the past different things, but I don't really understand them. It's another entity out there that I have to find out what's going on, but they are, I don't know, they seem to be so intertwined with the development office. I consider them part of the town of Victor. So 3 websites when you could have just one website. And all of this could be done right on the Town of Victor website. So they would have to make a decision to pay some people or get some help in getting listings. And that would go against my business plan, because I was thinking that Destination Victor New York would be the most comprehensive and most accurate listing service. But if the town does it, I would think that would be a really great thing. But I don't think they need 3 websites. They could do it off of their main one. And take a look Pittsford, Discover Pittsford, did right on their main website. And this is really quality work. Discover the charm, discover the character, discover the history, discover the shopping, discover Pittsford. It just looks and feels good. You're working, it's the town initiative, it's the town doing it, it's right on the town website. It draws people to the town website, versus the current Victor website that, as far as businesses are concerned, we're nowhere close to having, they have 60 listings. So I'm very grateful by the way, I will comment that I'm very grateful that they did add Destination Victor New York to their listings. They said they pretty much just do not-for-profits, but because I talked with her up at, the IT director, and I guess they made a decision, it wasn't just her, that they would list me because they see what I'm doing. It's about building up Victor, making it more of a destination. It's right exactly in line with what the town says that they want to do. So anyway, they added me, so I'm happy about that. But it's still, this is what the town, in my opinion, the town should go ahead and pay somebody, pay me maybe, I don't know, pay somebody to work on getting their listings, getting as many as possible, and have a disclaimer saying, if you said we're not responsible for getting, going out and getting your information correct, you provide it to us. We're already doing it with destinationvictorny.com. Go ahead and take a look. We have some pretty awesome listings. My wife's been working on them, and I'd say they're more than just listings. They've got multiple links and lots of information, and our clients really like the look of them. We need to build the traffic. It's well over 100 visitors per day now, and I think most of them are real people, not just robots checking out our robots are well, anyway, that's for search engine optimization indexing. You do want robots too, but real people is better. But so go to Destination Victor NY. Not to confuse you here, because that's definitely not a government sponsored event. We're not subsidized in any way. If anything, the development office, I don't know, they weren't planning on doing a website, but all of a sudden mid October somebody reserved the domain name, and now it's out of the development office, but it's the local development corporation, which is out of the development office of the town of Victor. I don't know. Anyway, confusing, but so they want to start listing, so maybe they'll do a better job than what the local development corporation has done in the past. I can't control the government, but I can control my own business. If we do a good job, we stay in business. If we do a bad job, we're out of business. If the government, they could do a bad job and keep getting paychecks anyway. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. And I don't know all the details either, but there's to build this up. I went to a town board meeting, and I made this analogy. I said, well, if you put enough money and resources to something, you can make a dead horse walk. And for Victor, at least how they did it, the way they started this up, it was a failed attempt for branding, and it was really false advertising and false to call it the one-stop shop for all events for most of this year. So I didn't want to go negative, but I'm going negative now. I'm exposing some things, that asking you all the question. You tell me. Does Victor, New York need 3 separate websites? I'm thinking Parks and Recreation. Victor Parks and Recreation does a ton of stuff, but even their Facebook directs everybody back to the town website, directs everybody to the town phone numbers. It's done professionally. It's a business page for the Parks and Recreation, but everything for Parks and Recreation, they don't have a separate website for themselves. They have a separate Facebook page. So I don't know. Does Victor, New York need 3 separate websites? Like, that's the question I'm putting out to you. And if they do, then they all need to be managed right, because it doesn't make us look good if they're not. So they got to be done right. In my opinion, if we're going to pay for it, it's got to be quality. The work done by the way, I'm going to mention a couple people here. So the development office has somebody who's very good at graphics. So I want to compliment Gina Cole Solomon. I think she recently got married, and that's her name now. But she's doing an awesome job. And early on, he was doing good work. The owner of Elevate Videography, it was good work. I mean, he was videotaping and doing stuff with drone footage. And the videos that were being put out were okay. I mean, they were good. But I'll tell you what, this year he's taken Victor to a whole new level. If you have seen some of the videos that are being paid for by somebody to promote on Discover Victor New York from the Discover Victor NY page, if you've seen any of them, they're high quality work. And he's not just working for the town. I mean, he's been definitely owes the town a big thanks for helping him get his business off the ground. But he's just on his own right now. If you take a look at some of the videos he's done for realtors and other things, Elevate Videography, top notch, great work. So but that doesn't affect the question I'm asking. Does Victor, New York need 3 separate websites? And I have my opinion. I'm putting this out there. I'll leave it at that. And hope you watched it. Probably most people cut off after the first 30 seconds. But regardless, I'm getting this out. And you guys, it's January 1st, 2025. Still alive and getting ready to thrive. And hopefully we have a great year. If DestinationVictorNY.com is successful, it means that everybody who's listing with us is successful. That's how we're going to build up Victor together, and that is our quest. It's our mission. Most comprehensive and most accurate listing service for Victor, New York. We're going to give it our best, and if you help and support us, I think it'll be a good thing for everybody. So have a great day.